Okay, so I thought it would be fun to talk about some of the book-related apps that I have on my phone. I have a whole little folder of apps on my phone just for my book-related kind of apps. I'll scoot over a little bit and I'll put it right here. I have a picture of this picture in front of me so I can see what you're seeing and list them for you. So in this list I have Goodreads, Bookshelf, Barnes & Noble, Book Clubs, Bookly, Bookscouter, Little Free Library, Pango Books, Thrift Books, Storygraph, Hoopla, and Libby. So it's a pretty full folder, but I don't regularly use all of these apps. So yeah, they're all kind of for different purposes, and I use some of them more often than others. Some of them I got hoping to use them more, and then I just kind of never did. So I'll go through, talk about them kind of in categories, maybe, or maybe by row. I'll figure it out. But we'll go through and we'll talk about them in whatever order ends up making sense, and that'll be it. Maybe you'll find a new app that you like, and maybe you can recommend some apps to me by the end. So we'll just jump right on into it, and we'll talk about some of these apps that I enjoy. Let's see. I think maybe we'll start with ones that I use most often. That might be fun. So we'll start with the ones I use most often. Okay, so the apps that I use the most often are Goodreads, Bookshelf, Barnes & Noble, and Book Clubs. Those four are my most used on here. Goodreads I use almost daily, I'll be honest. I'm constantly looking up books to add to my want to read list. Every time I get new books, I'm adding them to my Goodreads. I review all of my books on Goodreads. I read reviews on Goodreads. I use Goodreads a lot. I feel like Goodreads is kind of the norm for people that read. I know a lot of people are switching to other apps, but I generally use Goodreads. That's just me. I'm pretty basic. I am not a huge social media person. I kind of force myself to use some social medias, but if I don't need to use them, I kind of try not to. So Goodreads is nice and easy. It's basic. I love to use it. Bookshelf is the app that I use to log all of the books that I own. So I have all of my bookshelves, like all of my categories. So I have a shelf for all of my fiction books. I have a shelf for my romance books. I have a shelf for horror, for thriller, for fantasy. And I'm able to arrange them however I want to arrange them. So currently I have them arranged alphabetically by author from A to Z, because that's how I like to arrange them on my bookshelf. I like to have them author A to Z on my bookshelf. That's just how I arrange them. It makes the most sense to me. I know a lot of people like to arrange their books in a very aesthetic way. I tried to do it that way, but it became very difficult for me to find the books I was looking for. So it was just easier for me to arrange them that way and log them on my bookshelf app. And then I could literally just look on my app and see, oh, it's right here on my shelf, and just go to my shelf and find it. So I'll probably include some little clips of me showing you the app and kind of how it works. I really, really love this app. I know they have it on Android because I have an Android. I'm pretty sure they have it on iPhone, but I will have to double check that. Yeah, it's a pretty basic app. You can review books on it. You can add books yourself. It's a pretty nice app. You can get a pro version and pay to have the ads removed. I don't. I use the free version and I deal with the ads. They're not that hard to deal with. They don't pop up that often, really. They only really pop up if you're searching for books often, and I don't really search for books often. I just scan the barcodes of my books to add them to my shelf. So, not that bad. Barnes & Noble app, pretty basic. I think we all really know what the Barnes & Noble app is. I use it to check my account, check my rewards, stuff like that. Look at books, what's available. Just easy things like that. I'm looking pretty often at what new stock my stores are getting, just because I like to kind of see what signed books are coming in, what collectors' books are coming in, just in case they have something I've been looking for. Just stuff like that. I tend to look at books a lot more often than I'm really buying them. I feel like that kind of helps me to buy less if I'm like looking at them and it kind of feels like I'm shopping and then I'm not actually shopping. But it's fun to look a lot. Next is my book clubs app. That is what I use to see when my book club meetings are. Only one of my book clubs uses the book clubs app, but it makes tracking my book club meetings really, really easy. So I use that frequently to make sure I'm up to date on my book club meetings. So that's nice and easy. So those are my big four. That's pretty much it for those ones. So now I think we will jump into maybe book buying apps. Yeah, we'll do that next. Book buying apps are next. Okay, so next I'm going to kind of clump together book buying and book selling. And I'm going to throw Little Free Library in there just for fun. So my book buying, book selling apps are Book Scouter, Little Free Library, Pango Books, and Thrift Books. Those are the big four. Book Scouter I started using to sell my college textbooks that I didn't want to keep. It's really easy. You scan the barcodes. It finds all the places that will buy the book for you, and then you pick which one you want to send the book to. They send you the shipping information, and they send you the money, and you send the book off. I believe you can also buy books through them. It doesn't have to be textbooks. You can also buy and sell like regular books. I've never tried it, but you can do it. Thrift books, they've had a resurgence, so I think everybody kind of knows what thrift books is, but thrift books is really nice for buying secondhand books if that's what you're into. Buying brand new books is not always in the cards for everybody, and buying secondhand is always very good for the environment too. So if you're looking for secondhand books, thrift books could be a good app for you. Another secondhand book app is Pango Books, which I absolutely love. I've bought so many books off Pango Books. I absolutely adore this app. It is so fun to use. It's kind of like eBay or Depop, but specifically for books. It is so easy to navigate. It is so easy to like track listings. I have never had an easier time using an app. Like, it was so easy to use, and I have not had any issues with any of the sellers on the app. Everybody has been so sweet and so easy to talk to. I have adored my experience on Pango Books from the minute I started using the app. So I definitely recommend Pango Books if you're looking for somewhere to buy secondhand books. You can get really good deals on Pango Books. Like, I got, where is she? This Dean Koontz book on Pango Books that is signed. And I got this book for like, I think 10 or 15 bucks. Like, that is crazy for a hardcover signed book. Blew my mind. Like, that is such an amazing deal. Absolutely love it. Last one, Little Free Library. So the Little Free Library app is just used to find little free libraries near you. I use this pretty much everywhere I go. When I go on vacation, I look for little free libraries. When I go out of town, just like on a day trip, I look for little free libraries. I pretty much always have books like in my car that I'm wanting to unhaul. So I always have books to put in little free libraries. So I'm always looking for them. And I'm always wanting to see what they have in them, because if there's something that I've been looking for, I will swap a book. I will make that swap so fast. So I'm always out there looking for little free libraries. So I definitely recommend getting that app if you want to look for little free libraries near you. You can also see like how recently people have visited and their reviews of that little free library, which is really nice. I love that feature. So that's really fun. I think that's all I really have for those apps. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. This may not be a super in-depth video. If you want me to do like a more in-depth video on any of the apps, like leave a comment and I will definitely make it happen. But just kind of testing the waters a little bit to see if this kind of video is something you guys are interested in. So I think next we'll jump into my library apps, because those are new and I am actually really enjoying them. So I'll tell you about my library apps next. Okay, so my two library apps are Hoopla and Libby. I believe Hoopla is only audiobooks. And then Libby, you just connect your library card and then it'll find you audiobooks, regular books, like ebooks. I think they do normal books. It might just be ebooks and audiobooks. I think it's just ebooks and audiobooks. I'll have to double check. But I have used both of them a little bit, and they're both really easy to navigate, and they're both very convenient. Libby is super nice. It'll send books right to your Kindle. They're both really nice for audiobooks. You can change the speed. You can go through and find all the different chapters. It is so nice. You can find how many holds there are on it, how close you are to getting the book, like what spot in line you are. I really don't have any complaints about either. I had never used anything like these apps before. I've never been an audiobook person, but I've been trying immersive reading recently. So I borrowed some audiobooks to test it out. I didn't want to buy audiobooks just to not enjoy it. So I decided, you know what, I have multiple library cards because I have multiple libraries around me. I may as well just borrow them from the library instead. And I think I like that so much better than just buying an audiobook, because I'm not going to listen to an audiobook again. I'll reread a book, but I'm probably not going to listen to the audiobook again. So I think it's so much more convenient for me to just borrow it and send it back. And it was so easy for me to find the book I needed, like, the same day. I searched for the book on Hoopla. They didn't have it available at the time, so I went on Libby, searched for it, and they had it available right then. Borrowed it, started listening to it within like 3 minutes. It was so easy. Finished the book same day, and sent it right back. So it was super easy, very convenient. I definitely recommend both apps. Like, they were both really nice. Everybody that I know uses Libby. I have never heard a bad thing about Libby. I haven't yet. I have not heard a bad thing about Libby yet. So if you have any experiences with Hoopla and Libby, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. If you have any like tips or tricks with these apps, please leave them in the comments, because I am still learning. But that's pretty much the gist of those two. So now I'm going to jump into the last of my apps that I really don't use, but am hoping to start using them more. These ones, these poor apps, they've been sitting in this folder and getting no love. So hopefully they will get some love soon. So we'll talk about these poor lonely apps. So these next Lonely Souls, there is actually an extra one that I didn't realize was not in this folder until now. So I actually have 3 instead of just 2. I have Bookly, Storygraph, and Fable. Bookly is an app. I will have a nice little clip here. Bookly is an app that you can use to track your reading. So when you start reading, you hit like play on it, and it tracks how long you were reading, how long it took you to read like a book. You can put how many pages you read at a time, so it'll track like your reading speed. It can play like ambient sounds or like music while you read. It's actually pretty cool. And one of my friends uses it, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. I should use that. And then I downloaded it and never used it. So I'm hoping that at some point I will actually use it. We'll see. It's actually a really cool app, and I would really like to try using it. So I will at some point remember to use it. I think that's my issue, is I just don't remember to. Because when I start reading, my first thought is not, oh, let me pick up my phone and push all these, like, make my way, navigate to this app, and push this record button so that I can log my exact reading time. That's just not really something that my brain thinks to do when I go to read. So I might have to get into the habit if I really want to do that. And if it's not really something I'm super worried about getting into the habit of, I might have to make the decision to just delete the app. I might have to say bye-bye to Bookly. But if that's something that you are interested in, then Bookly might be a really cool app for you. My next one is Storygraph, which I've heard everybody talking about Storygraph, and I finally said, fine, I will get it. And it is really cool. But it's just, I'm not super big on just like going and on tons of different apps and like doing all kinds of logging and all different stuff. So I just feel like I haven't navigated the app a whole lot. I haven't tried all the features. I feel like I just need to get into the app a little more. I need to really dig deep into it. So I don't have a whole lot of experience with StoryGraph. Tell me more about the app if you use it, because I've heard so many good things about it, but I just like, I don't know. I haven't really used it. And I want to know what everybody is like ranting and raving about. I just haven't really had the chance to, I guess. I haven't given myself the chance to. Which is kind of the same story with Fable. I saw Fable in a YouTube video that I watched. I think it was in a video by Clockwork Reader. And I was like, oh, that looks so cool. And so I downloaded it and I was super into it for like a week or two. And then I just like never touched it again. And every once in a while I go back to it and I'm like, oh, this app is so cool. And I'll like mess with it a little bit and then I just like don't touch it anymore. So I think it's just a problem of there are too many social medias out there and I just can't possibly use all of them. So that's kind of my dilemma right now, is some of these book apps are just too social media like for me. When I think of a book app, I literally just want to track my books and that's it. I don't want to make it into a whole new social media. But if that's, something that is the new thing, then maybe I just need to get into the habit of it. Like, if Instagram is dead, then maybe I just need to accept that and get off Instagram. I don't think TikTok is going to die anytime soon. That is very alive and well. But if you think that StoryGraph or Fable should be like the new main focus or my new big thing, then please, of course, let me know. But as of right now, I don't really touch them. That's really all the apps that I have relating to books. So that's all for now. Happy reading. I'll see you next time. Bye.